Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Art of the Hero with Mike S. Miller. Today on the show, Lies the Pie Man Told You. What is this going to be about? Curiouser and curiouser. What's up, D Fresh? Let's see if anybody's going to make it to the show today. I was going to do this as a private stream, but then I'm like, no. I felt emboldened by Psalms today. No audio. No, there's audio. That's just the fish thing. You got it. Remember, every word should honor God. Indeed. And that's the thing. That's why I felt emboldened by Psalms. Yeah, God will vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But that Psalm 18 was David like fighting the fight, right? Vengeance is God's, but sometimes there's a little bit of war and you gotta take care of it. Mike the Emperor got the notice. Yeah, everybody like and share. I get the feeling we'll get some old faces in here if they see the title of this stream. It's just time. It is just time. I promise you, hand on a Bible. Give me a Bible. Everything I am about to say is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me, God, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I will try not to be smarmy or what's the word? I don't know. I'll try not to be I'll just try to give the facts. Just going to try to give the facts the way that they are. General Maximus sees his time for honoring himself as soon as it end. That's right, General Maximus. I am Maximus. I am Maximus. I am Maximus. I am. I can't even do it as a hashtag. Maximus. I am the night. I am vengeance. I am Batman. Try not to be too smillery. Thank you, Jay Hamilton. It's not really the word I was looking for. Mike, do you honestly care do you think they honestly care what you have to say at this point? Hello. Oh. It's over a year past time. Let it all out. No, I'm not going to I'm not going to do a freaking, and this just has to do with the weekend's events, because I feel like the line of hypocrisy was so boldly crossed that honestly, you know how I've gone on and on and on fighting against Malin and Ethan and all of those guys because they claimed I called Comicsgate a cult. Well, I offered up absolutely undeniable proof that of Ethan using the enemy, one of the worst enemies Comicsgate has ever known, late night comics, right? This guy was threatening Elizabeth Breitweiser. This guy threatened the life of Billy and Deborah Tucci. He had to call the FBI to protect himself from late night comics. And Ethan, I don't know where he's getting the information. And can I speculate? Because I didn't see it anywhere. Is Ethan following late night comics still? Or is Ethan getting information? Is Ethan talking to late night comics behind the scenes and getting this deep dive information that he got from late night comics? The worst worse than Renfamous, worse than Mark Waid, the worst anti-Comicsgate person who has ever existed. And Ethan is dealing with him somehow behind the scenes. You guys tell me what's going on. You guys tell me. But before we get to that, don't speculate, Mike. Just facts. These are the facts. These are the facts. Was Tim Lim working with Late Night Comics? What? I don't know. These are the facts. I don't even know what Late Night Comics is. All right, Dennis Pruch, Late Night Comics, about a year and a half ago. I guess he started out as Comicsgate. He flipped to be anti-Comicsgate. He was buddying up, I guess, with Renfamous and all those other truly not just ex-Comicsgaters, anti-Comicsgaters, the ones who tried to burn Comicsgate down from the beginning. Late Night Comics buddied up with them, and then just freaking tried to target every single one of us for destruction, myself included, and Ethan. So, I mean, unless he was working with him back then, I don't know. Yeah, worse than Mark Waid. Did Mark Waid ever threaten anybody's life, Vincenzo? Did Richard have to call the FBI to protect himself from Mark Waid? Right? Alpha Nuba says, worse than Mark Waid, but Waid was right. Oh, I'll get to that lie too. I will get to that lie too. Hold on, please. But just as a little amuse-bouche, my wife, hold on, Chrome tab. Don't go to that one. Oh, don't drag you into it. All right, I won't drag my wife into it. This is just an interesting little thing. I mean, whatever it is. My wife. All right, you know what? Never mind. I'll just not do that one. You guys can read it for yourself. No cursing. Yeah, no cursing. No cursing, people. Mark says, this just keeps going in circles. I just wish high school crap would stop. Comic book artists are a very strange bunch of people. We are a strange bunch of people. That is another interesting point, Mark. I've always had friends. I'm a very gregarious person. You guys can probably tell. I've always been sort of a social butterfly. I've always had more friends than I had time to hang out with. But it was funny to me. One time I remember Ethan talking about how all comic book artists are socially inept because we don't have any friends, right? We sit at home watching TV, drawing comic books. And I was like, I mean, I sat at home watching TV and drawing comic books, but I had all kinds of friends. So why didn't Ethan have any friends? I mean, that's his words, not mine. His words, not mine. So interesting. All right, show receipts. All right, I will stick to the things that I have receipts for. I want to make sure that I can. The thing is, I have 4 of these tabs open from that video the other night. 4 of these tabs open, and I don't know how to share the screen. Expendables Live. I don't. How do I share the audio on each individual tab? They all say Expendables Live. Should I just this? Share audio? Okay, this. All right, we'll do this one. I don't know which one this is. I've got 4 of them open. So let's listen real quick. Nightwolf says, I had friends growing up, so Ethan was more like the antisocial nerd, probably. Yeah, which is probably why he doesn't know. I don't think he understands friendship. That's correct, Zach. That is correct. All right, let's go with this one. Let's see what this one is. Oh, I think this is the key one. All right, so
we had all that stuff already done. Mike had a company called Abacus Comics, and there's a fellow named Late Night Comics.
Out of the words out of his own mouth. The words out of his own mouth. Anyone who is Comicsgate, who remembers the absolute hell that Late Night Comics put Billy Tucci through, put Elizabeth Breitweiser through, put all of us through just in relentless, constant harassment. This is literally the worst enemy Comicsgate has ever had. And Ethan.
We had all that stuff already done.
Ethan.
Mike had a company called Abacus Comics.
Who's he using?
And there's a fellow named Late Night Comics, who we all know.
No reaction. Look at those guys. No reaction. Well, Adam Friendon's too new to Comicsgate to have a clue. Adam Post probably doesn't have a clue. John Malin knows exactly who the hell Late Night Comics is. And he sits there not saying a freaking word about this.
I did a deep dive on Mike. He wanted to take Mike down. And there's a fellow named Late Night Comics, who we all know. Did a deep dive on Mike. He wanted to take Mike down. And he found out that Mike had these books from Abacus Comics, didn't pay any of the creators on them.
Lie. So the books he's talking about, it was not Abacus Comics. It was Alias Comics, Alias Enterprises, LLC. We were funded by a company called Trivision to the tune of $500,000. All of our books were all the books that we developed in-house, not the ones we were publishing for other people, were fully funded before publishing. So Sherwin Schwarzrock got paid for all of his work on Deal with the Devil. The colorist got paid. The letterer, actually Sherwin lettered it. Harold got paid on Six Gun Samurai. Sean Jordan got paid. Everybody got paid from Alias Enterprises LLC. That is how those books were done. So Late Night Comics, I don't know where he got this information from, but I know where Ethan got it from. He got it from Late Night Comics. Again, the worst. Worse than Mark Waid. Death threats to Billy and Deborah Tucci, decades-long friends of our fat pie man friend. Sorry. Decades-long friends of Ethan Van Sciver. Death threats. Death threats. Billy and Deborah had to call the FBI. And Ethan, you guys all remember Late Night Comics. Our old buddy Late Night Comics. Well, he did a deep dive on Mike, trying to destroy him. And apparently somehow I got all of this information from Late Night Comics, who I don't even think is on Twitter anymore. How are you getting this information from Late Night Comics, Ethan? Inquiring minds want to know how suddenly you have all this information about me not paying, false information, by the way, not paying the creators on Six Gun Samurai and Deal with the Devil. Interesting. I remember another deep dive you commanded War Campaign to do on oh gosh, who was it? He just recently. Preston. Commanding War Campaign to do a deep dive on Preston to find out every little detail about his life that they could use against him. What? Okay, is this a cult or not? I'm not saying everyone in Comicsgate. I'm saying this kind of bizarre behavior where you're targeting people for destruction because they refuse to follow your will and whim and whatever. It's just so incredibly disgusting. Gotham Knight said, yeah, I know of LNC. He got banned off Twitter as well as banned from Kiwi Farms. I know little of him from his comments on Community Farms, and then he got banned. General Maximus says, cult sounds more like a criminal organization. Doesn't it, though? Doesn't it? CG isn't a cult. I don't think it is either. I will repeat that ad nauseum. CG is not a cult. Ethan has a group around him, though, that nothing he says is wrong. I posted this up right on Twitter, and I'm like, someone want to defend this? Ethan going to late night comics and getting information to destroy my business, to attack my person? Does anyone want to defend this? I posted yesterday. Not a single person, not a single comic skater, not a single war campaign, not Cecil, not anyone tried to defend this crap. Unbelievable. That's so yet another lie. Let's knock that off.
And so, he had orders. He had a website up. Late Night Comics had screenshots of the websites, the Abacus Comics websites. And so Mike was sitting on these books. He hadn't paid anyone for them. He never.
Again, absolute lie. And if having screenshots of my now defunct Abacus Comics website, which the only thing I ever had for sale on there was Lullaby, right? And when I sold out Lullaby Volume 1, all I had on there was Lullaby Volume 2. So that he's jumping from he had screenshots to he never paid anybody for the work. Liar. No wonder your nose is so long. You are Pinocchio incarnate.
Never published them. And he, once again, it's like, let me just slam all this shit together.
Wait. Did he say I never published them?
Into of the websites, the Abacus Comics websites. And so Mike was sitting on these books. He hadn't paid anyone for them. He never published them.
They were published as individual issues. All of the creative staff were paid. You're a freaking liar. All you do is lie. I swear I'm not going to EFAP this whole 9-hour video. But you know what? I swear someone should do like a lie counter on Ethan, because it would be like movie sins times 10.
And he, once again, it's like, let me just slam all this shit together into one campaign. And God only knows what the Meg. Remember when I was yelling at Mike about the Meg?
Here we go. All right.
Like, Mike, what are you doing? Like, cutting these guys in for a share of this? Like, they took, according to you.
Okay, I want to point out, this is true. This is what he did. He started yelling at me about this. He started bad-mouthing the campaign the weekend it launched. He freaking kneecapped that campaign by talking constant crap about what a horrible deal I made with the DeBells to publish this book. And he just admitted it. He just admitted it right there. You guys remember? Here, let me play it again. You guys remember?
Yelling at Mike about the Meg.
You guys remember I was yelling at Mike about the Meg?
Once again, it's like, let me just slam all this shit together into one campaign. And God only knows what the Meg. Remember when I was yelling at Mike about the Meg?
Remember?
Like, Mike, what are you doing?
What are you
cutting
doing?
These guys in for
cutting these guys in.
Like, they took.
You guys remember that he was doing this because he did it on live streams all that weekend. And yeah, finally, I did tell him privately, mind you, Ethan, you're killing my campaign. If you can't say anything good, shut up. That's what I told him. If you can't promote it, at least don't freaking kneecap me. That's the only reason Ethan shut up about it.
According to you, you did all this work and they didn't pay you, and you're going to still. Remember how weird that was? And Mike was like, Ethan, just leave it alone. Stop talking about it.
See, that's what I said. Leave it alone. Stop talking about it, because he was kneecapping me. I got emails from people from Ethan's channel, or not emails, but messages on Twitter and stuff saying, I'm not gonna back the Meg campaign because you made a bad deal with the DeBells. I'm not gonna help you get out of, not getting paid on this project so that you can actually sell this project and make this project work, because you might have to pay somebody.
What the hell was that really? You know what?
Here it comes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Speculation. Speculation by Ethan Van Sciver.
I never found out, and someone was questioning, like, did he even ever have the rights, or was the writer who wrote the book promising him rights, and maybe he didn't get it from the film, but maybe he never did get the rights?
All right, let me do this. I want to thank, by the way, Adam Post, because in this whole exchange, he was the only one who was like rational and kind of like, oh, well, look at this from a pragmatic perspective. Later, Hellstorm.
I don't know, but what I know is the story wasn't true because it didn't make any sense. And
I know the story wasn't true because it didn't make any sense. I'll tell you the exact story. I told it back then. And whether or not you think it made sense, it is true. Hand on a Bible. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, strike me dead. The story is true. It didn't make sense. My wife would tell you that, but it was true.
And at the time, I never really thought to really push him about it. But when I was saying, if what you're saying is true, and these guys were going to pay you, okay, a rate to draw 6 issues worth of the Meg, and it got you in terrible debt, they never paid you, and now you're putting the Meg out through Comicsgate, and you're still going to cut these guys in for a share? I don't understand.
Because they own the license. The DeBells owned the license. I couldn't just see what Adam says here in a second. Well, maybe he, just like one of these artists who's like, you did all the work and then you take it away and you try to publish it yourself. You can't do that. It's a licensed property. The DeBells own the license. Therefore, if I were to do the book, I would have to pay for part of the license. It's not that hard to understand, but apparently it is for some people.
And help me to understand.
Right. My guess would be that
he refused to understand
that if Lone Star was one book and it raised eventually $100,000, that the Meg and Deal with the Devil and Six Gun Samurai, those 3 books would be at least $300,000. So he would be able to take care of himself and pad a little bit off to the Dabble brothers.
Okay, I take it back. John is being rational too.
DeBell, whatever they are.
The Dable brothers, yeah.
Dable? Yeah, okay.
I still think there was something fishy about that.
Oh, of course you do, Ethan. Because you're trying to besmirch my name constantly, relentlessly. That's what you do.
And I think there was...
no pun intended. The Meg story, the way you just described it, and the way that you said that Mike said it sounds like, and I have no idea if this is the case, but it sounds like he was hired to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
The publisher screwed up and wasn't able to put it out.
Correct.
Wasn't able to pay him either.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, all right, well, I have art. I'm publishing it.
That's the part where it just kind of goes a little bit off the rails, because I couldn't do that because I didn't have the license. But anyways, the rest of this, I'll just let me clarify what happened here, because so I have worked with the DeBells since the Hedge Knight, since 2002. They all kind of, I've had issues with my wife says I forgave him too much. I'm a very forgiving person, so I would always forgive them, they'd have these opportunities, and I would be like, and this time the bells were being fully funded by Southern Ground, which is Southern Ground Entertainment. It's I can't remember his name. He's some country singer. And I met with their CFO. I met with their CFO. I met with another one of their marketing guys at Emerald City Comic Con. So I knew absolutely this was a legitimate project, right? But I told them up front, I'm like, all right, we're going to break this up. You're going to pay me in advance 2 issues at a time, right? But the problem was we were racing the movie. The movie was coming out in August. This was May. I'm like, we have to get this whole kit and caboodle done in the can at the printer before June, July, August. No, it wasn't May. It was March, April, May, June. We had to get it by June so that it could be in stores by August. So we were on this crazy deadline. So I'm like, before I met with the guys from Southern Ground, I was like, I'm not going to draw this. I'm like, I will art direct this. I will help you out, but I'm not going to draw it. When I met with those guys, they're legit freaking crazy. Who is it? Let me find, I can't remember the name of the country singer. Southern Ground. I don't know. Some of you guys will know if you're country fans, I guess. But this will know. Camp Southern Ground. That's their camp. Zach Brown. So Zach Brown was the guy funding the DeBell brothers. Zach Brown's freaking filthy rich, right? And so I said, all right, I will do it because I don't trust anyone else to get this done in essentially 3 months. 3 months time we had, right? I jumped in and I said, all right, you're paying me 2 months in advance, and then, we'll play it by ear on the rest. So he got me the 2 months in advance, but frankly, I'd already started because we only had 3 months to get this whole stinking book done. Eric Nealtowski will tell you, we were just, because he was inking my backgrounds, we were like in mad dash territory trying to get this thing out by August before the deadline. I got paid in advance for the first 2 books for 1/3 of the project. And then I just moved forward. I just blew through it because I was like, you know what? Southern Ground's paying for this. I already got paid this huge chunk of money. I'm going to go forward and move. I'm going to get this done because it's more important to me to get the project done before the movie comes out, because that's your huge opportunity. We could have sold 20,000 units of this thing if we had just gotten it out before the movie. And so I was getting a huge royalty. So I had a lot of motivation to get this book done. So the fact that, so here's what happened. After I got paid for the first one, and then I put in my second invoice. Again, I was barreling through it anyways. I wasn't getting paid. I didn't get my second invoice paid like in 2 weeks, like I was supposed to. And so, but I just kept barreling through it because I had to get it done. My royalties depended on this getting out before the movie. It was like a horse race. It was a shark race. And I'm like, what's going on with the check? And Les tells me, Southern Ground looked at the breakdown of the invoice, and they're like, why are we paying Mike so much? Because they were used to hiring guys from Brazil, just like Marvel, Dynamite, all these guys who are hiring these chump change artists from Brazil. That's who Les was usually using. He was paying me, and I was doing it. I was even doing a lower rate than usual just to streamline things. But Southern Ground was like, that's like double. That is like double. Who am I trying to convince, Mizos? I'm just telling you the story of what happened. There's no convincing here. So Southern Ground said, all right, we're no longer going to fund this book. The curse of the Meg begins. The curse of the Meg begins. We end up missing the deadline because we don't have money, which means we can't pay the colorists. And so, yeah, the whole thing sort of falls apart. I've already done all of this work on the project. And, right, I just did, like Malin said, did $100,000 on Lone Star. I'm like, oh, gosh, you know what? The Meg might do really well on Indiegogo. People know the property now. It's a movie. It's a freaking global blockbuster movie. So I'm like, all right, can I went to Les and I said, Les, I remember this phone call because I was making Halloween costumes at the time. I'm like, Les, can we do a deal where I run an Indiegogo, I get paid, and then I will pay you a percentage to deal with the licensor, right? And we worked it out, and he's like, yeah, we can do that. Now, again, Les has the publishing rights to this project, so there shouldn't have been any problem. Ultimately, I get contacted by Steve Alton, the owner of the Meg, and he's like, you know, I'm not going to go into the personal details between he and Les, but he's like, for circumstances ongoing, I'm taking the license away from Les, the DeBells. Do you want it? And I said, what's this going to cost me? So we worked out a deal. I had to pay a cash license, a hefty cash license, to acquire the Meg license from Steve Alton directly. Steve owns all ancillary rights. I don't know how he made this deal. Steve Alton owns every ancillary right to the Meg, to all of its subsidiary products. I could probably get the license for him to do freaking rubber squeaky toys. Somehow or another, Warner Brothers, when he made a deal with Warner Brothers where all they got was the movie rights. They don't have book rights. They don't have comic book rights. They don't have toy rights. They don't have anything. Steve Alton has all the rights. So I bought them after Steve contacted me directly. I bought the license from Steve. That was another huge chunk of money that went out of the Meg campaign directly to him. But I had to do it because I had already sold all these copies of the Meg. So if I didn't, I would have to refund everybody that bought. So I had no other option. I thought it was a great option because now I get the Meg and now I get to publish it and I can, but when that happened, I assumed all of the debt as well. I assumed all of the debt on all of the creatives who have not been paid because the DeBell's deal got killed by Southern Ground. So, my reason for adding Six Gun Samurai and Deal with the Devil was because of all the complaints from Comicsgate about shipping costs. And I'm like, well, here's an idea. I'll print 3 books. I'll give you all 3 of them for a discounted price and 1 shipping cost. So, you know, now these guys who are complaining bitterly about having to pay $35 for one 48-page comic book can now get 3 full-size graphic novels plus shipping for $60, right? It was $50 plus $10 for shipping. That's why I did that. I wasn't trying to shovel crap on a pile. I am proud of Deal with the Devil and Six Gun Samurai. And I think most of the people who have read those books like them. I hope they all like them, but you can't please everybody. All right, let us whack this one. Here, let me just close that one out completely so I don't get confused by it. Michael says, thanks. I like to hear the other side of the story. Well, yeah, it's my side of the... It's the story. It's the truth. Hand to God, that's the story. What Ethan concocts in his far-flung fantasy liar head is not any side of the story. It's bullcrap. Nightwolf Plays says, I love Six Gun Samurai. It's a good book. Thank you very much. Joe Cases, actually, that was an honest deal. It was. It was. It was a very hard time. My wife is like, this book is cursed. This book is cursed. And at times I'm like, you know what? You know, all things happen for a reason. Captain Hilt says the Meg was a great trade paperback. All available on Amazon now. If you want to get it, the Meg, just go to Meg graphic novel, Amazon, on Amazon. There's another hilarious contradiction. Allegiance Comics put 3 books in one campaign. Did Ethan say they were stupid and money grubbing and blah blah and all the crap he said about me for putting 3 books in one campaign? Did he ever say anything like that about Mitch? No. All the complaints are just about me, right? Variant covers. Oh, Mike's doing variant covers. It's a cash grab. It's a blah, blah, blah. It's blah, 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 blah. Oh, Zach, how many variant covers you got on Expendable? 6 and possibly more? Huh? Not a word. EBS did criticize Allegiance for that. I did not see this. You're his love interest, Mike. EBS has daily Mike streams. It's true. All right, let's go to the next bit. Actually, let me see. Share screen, Chrome tab, share audio. Let's try this one. Which one is this? This one is I don't know. They all look the same. So let's try this one here.
And so I was at today. I said Mike needs to apologize to Comicsgate humbly, to everyone in Comicsgate, to everybody who's involved in Comicsgate needs to humbly apologize and beg forgiveness. But you know what? That's not what Mike did. In reaction to what's going on right here, here's what Mike had to say, and Doug TenNapel doubles down. This is and the two of these guys. Lol. Then Mark Waid was right. If you think you have the right to crap all over someone without them having the right to respond because you buy their comic book, then you're an idiot. Here's Doug TenNapel. Mark Waid was right. Hashtag Mark Waid was right.
He spent all night harassing and haranguing, saying that I was siding with Mark Waid because he took that one tweet out of context. Shall we see what that tweet says in context? Why don't we do that? What does that tweet say in context? All right, Slayer of Ugly says to me, so you're saying Richard and John Malin respect the fans, because I was saying that they don't insult the fans, right? Abacus Mike, Ethan Van Sciver, and Doug TenNapel the least. I say I respect the fans, but I don't give them carte blanche to be douchebags. You buying a comic book doesn't give you the right to treat me like crap. Slayer of Ugly, spoken like Mark Waid. And then that's when I said, LOL, then Mark Waid was right. If you think you have the blah, 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 everything. However, if you read that instead of the way, if you just read this normally, instead of, being Mark Waid was right. If you just read it normally, would anyone disagree with this? If you think you have the right to crap all over someone without them having the right to respond because you buy their comic book, then you're an idiot. Does anyone disagree with that? Comicsgate, war campaign, anyone. Does anyone disagree with that statement? Do you really think someone plunking $25 in your pocket gives you the right as a fan to treat them like crap? And I'm sorry, but if you do, you're an idiot. I'll repeat myself. So in context, no, you freaking liar. I was not siding with Mark Waid. You, however, vocally sided with Late Night Comics. For those who missed that, yeah. Remember Late Night Comics? Remember Late Night Comics? The worst anti-CG guy out there? The guy that threatened the life of Billy and Deborah Tucci? The guy that harassed Elizabeth Breitweiser? Can you not now, Micah? Not now. That threatened Elizabeth Breitweiser. Remember Late Night Comics? Ethan sided with him. Unfortunately, I already closed that tab out, so I can't play it at another time. But you can rewind this video and go back and watch it. He says it straight out. He's like, I got this information from a Late Night Comics who isn't even around anymore. Isn't even around. He's been banned from Twitter, from Kiwi Farms. He's been banned everywhere. So somehow or another, he's getting information from Late Night Comics. I don't know how. I can't speculate. I'll let you guys speculate, though. All right. What else? Comics customers are not entitled. Thank you. O'Hare. Comicsgate is a movement for entitlement. Sounds pretty SJW to me. Ethan loves Late Night Comics. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that up there for. Was Late Night Comics the one who doxed EVS? I don't know. I don't remember everything. He did so much bad stuff. It's just the stuff that's the most egregious is literally threatening the life of Billy and Deborah Tucci because they were thinking about dipping their toe in Comicsgate. And yeah, that explains why the Breitweisers disappeared. Let's leave that one up because it's so apropos. All right, let's see. Stop screen, share screen, Chrome tab. Let's see what this one is. Share audio. What are you doing? Oh yeah, that's this one. Let's see if he.
That is. I don't know.
Equivalency, anyone?
I think that's I mean, yes.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
think that's
He backs out. That's it. He reads it. He doesn't read any of the other stuff. He just reads that one part completely out of context because he's a liar. A liar. Yeah, Late Night Comics posted stuff to upset Darwin Cook's widow, pretending to be Comicsgate. This guy was the nuclear freaking bomb of anti-Comicsgate douchebaggery. And Ethan apparently loves him now. You go, girl. Let's see. What's this one? Oh, okay. Here we go.
Mark Waid wasn't right, and neither are you.
Oh. Is the audio on this? This is important. This is important for the fact that people are always telling me, Ethan never tells anyone to refund your money, Mike. Ethan never tells anyone not to be a customer, Mike. No, he's not going to come out and say, hey, go refund Mike. No, this is how the smarmy little bastard does it.
Submit. So people are sending me this stuff. I don't know how you feel about that. How do you feel about, people that you gave money to for their comics?
It's a really serious.
That's how he does it. He attacks my character, aligns me with Mark Waid, lies about me for 8.5 hours to his sycophants, who have some of whom I got so many refund requests this weekend because of this 9-hour attack video. And then what happens? What does he say here? What does he say?
How do you feel about
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about
people that you gave money
people
to?
you gave money to
For their comics.
It's a really serious betrayal.
Oh, it's a
worst part about it.
Worst betrayal
is.
See, he just sets it up. He sets it up, and the automatic assumption is, how do you feel? You gave money to this guy. How does that make you feel? There's no lines to read between here. You gave money to this guy that I've just shown you for 8.5 hours is now siding with the enemy of Comicsgate. How does that make you feel? He doesn't have to say the words, go refund him. You gave money to him. How does that make you feel? Freaking slime ball. Unbelievable.
You feel stupid when you trust someone and they screw you over. It's like, well, maybe it's.
How did I screw anybody over?
To me, I'm stupid. Why did I believe Doug? I never did back Mike, but I did back Doug. And then he pulled his thing.
This isn't about Doug. All right. So, gosh, I think this next one, I should have queued this up. I wish I'd have known what order these were in because it's incredible. It's incredible. I'm just going to play this and let you guys enjoy it because I thought it was so freaking funny. So funny.
Wisdom is not even a word that we use anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But Ethan has wisdom. He's a great communicator. He's funny as shit. He's that's why he's the loudest voice. I mean, not the loudest, the biggest voice, the most important voice in Comicsgate. But we need to clarify. I think, and Malin
keep in mind here, the Biggins are fans. They are fans. They're super fans. They spent $1,000 on Cecil's campaign. They are super fans, and they are giving you the fan perspective to all these creators here.
Probably disagrees, and Ethan might disagree, but Malin definitely disagrees, and that's why he's annoyed with me right now.
I'm waiting to hear what it is. So.
You can see the annoyance on his face, and you're probably
this is
right.
my all the time face.
Malin, you're probably right. I know you're fucking annoyed with me all the time.
Sorry about the language.
And I'd love to know why. We just need to get on the phone and hash it out.
We've talked like twice, Mr. Biggins. No.
But I can tell, brother, and it's fine. But Malin, Malin and Zach respect the fans. Malin and Zach
just
don't
what I
fight
said.
with the fans, and they are.
I don't disagree with that.
And they are true blue Comicsgate in that regard.
But
and that I would say that's a point where Ethan needs.
Ethan's like, what about me? What about me?
You want to hear a philosophical point where Ethan needs to straighten up? Ethan, don't fight with the fans. Fight with the pros. Don't fight with the fans. There's a point.
What's the well, first of all, what is the what's a fan?
Are you talking Vicky? Is this a Vicky conversation?
No, I don't give a shit about any individual person, but I don't.
If a super fan can see it, there's hope. Someone was asking me, why am I bothering to do this? All of the sycophants are going to ignore it. The super fans, the Biggins, see it. Ethan fights with the fans. Ethan fights with the fans. And he's on this show and he's confronting them, and just look at the faces. It's like, oh, how dare you? How dare you say that to Caesar? Oops, I hit the wrong thing.
I want to get into this. Look,
Do it. Go.
I just listed all of Ethan's virtues, and you asked me about a philosophical difference.
Yeah. I kind of put you on the spot, so it's not a big deal.
So let me ask Art. Art, you want to fight with the fans?
This part is so great.
I would never fight with the fans. No.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Art? What do you think of Ethan fighting with the fans?
Who?
Ethan Van Sciver.
He doesn't fight with the fans.
Do you have an app called Twitter?
I don't really keep up on Twitter. No.
All right. Art. Fine. Very
Well, like
good.
what? Like,
Oh man, that is so awesome. And then they like just start. They're just like, well, what's a fan? What's a fan? And then what the hell? I'll play it. What the hell?
like
Just-
what?
What?
Where am I-
What do
give
you
me
mean?
an
What's-
example,
what?
'cause
Huh?
I could
What?
be.
Huh?
I just
What?
I think where we would differ is what I would refer to as a fan. And then
It
somebody
depends
who's a
on what the
deliberate
word
agent or a troll.
is.
And that's fun, but if
Well,
you
a fan
look,
would be somebody who buys your books and likes your work.
Like
Yeah.
being from
If
PA.
it's just somebody that's on Twitter, they're probably
right,
fans,
but
or they have a
but-
chance of not
but-
being a fan.
Like Bean.
I think honestly, without an example, it is hard to
How
understand.
about Bean?
Exactly,
How about Bean for an example?
What fan or is he fighting with? Ethan makes comments that are, funny, and he gives people, SJW
Yeah, they're hilarious
people
to
a
people who
hard
don't care
time,
about
and
this stuff.
people that critique him a hard time, but not really fair criticism. It doesn't.
Well,
seem like.
let's try to narrow it down. All right, so Renfamous. Okay to go
Really
and have
stupid
disagreements
argument,
with
John.
Renfamous. Yay, nay.
She's a big fan.
He's huge. Biggest fan. Ethan's biggest
Really
fan.
I'm gonna
Really
look.
huge.
I'm gonna back off this topic. The chat is. I'm not.
See?
I'm not expressing myself well. And
No, you were expressing yourself just fine, Mr. Biggins. You were just expressing it to people who don't want to hear it. Mr. Biggins, Mrs. Biggins, super fans of Comicsgate, super fans of Ethan, super fans of Cecil, of all those guys, comes to them with a legit criticism, and they can't hear it. They won't hear it. I do believe that's make speculations. Yeah. I think that's it. Let's see what you guys have to say here in the chat. YouTube. Oh, where's my channel? Where's my channel? What about potential fans? Says Asuka. Exactly. What about potential fans? Wow, 246 people watching. I am gonna assume. All right, all of you EVS super fans in the chat. What are your opinions? EVS was fuming. I know, you could see his face, man. He would have freaking laser beamed eyes through the it's like, don't you dare criticize our great leader. Vailned said, I'm a sycophant. Lyrical Zion says, Mike, did you block people again? Nope. I think I have one person blocked on YouTube. EVS exposed. Indeed. His fat underbelly shining up in the sky for all the world to see. Peter Rankin. I can't go all the way through it again. You're going to have to watch it on replay. I will leave this up. Absolutely, for sure. Captain Heltz, good question. What's the rational solution to end all of this nonsense? How about just stop attacking each other? You put your foot in your mouth now and are blaming EVS. Did you not watch any of this stream? I meant unblock. Sorry, autocorrect. Yeah, everybody on YouTube is unblocked. Then I unblocked everybody, and then I went back and blocked one person who was just being douchey. EVS monetizes the hell out of this drama. Hey, it's a living, I guess. He's not going to stop the drama. It gets him views. I know. P Money says, I agree with a lot of your arguments, Mike. I just wish you didn't do frog videos, troll tweets, that kind of stuff. I just don't think that helps. No, I admitted to the frog video being over the line. I was angry and responded poorly. So I own that. What else was there? Gosh darn it. There was something I wanted to talk about. D Loves All Things says, being from Paul, I've seen your post. You are not an EVS fan. She was an EVS fan, D Loves All Things. That's the point. She was a fan, and then she was sickened by his behavior, so she asked for a refund. And because she asked for a refund, she became public enemy number one. Is that what you do to win fans back? Is that what you do? I want to send an EVS a frog sushi video from China. It looks tasty. Oh, there's this one video of a one-armed guy like biting the head off of a frog and then slurping all of its guts out from China. I don't suggest looking that one up. Falcon says, your problems, Mike, just go behind the scenes, apologize, and stop talking about each other. That's like telling a battered wife to go apologize to her husband for letting him hit her. Bean says, I was a fan. Exactly. Ethan acts like Kale Smell. Does this Jerry Springer stuff really sell comics? No. But you know what it does? It costs me comics. It costs me fans. This relentless 8-month-long freaking vendetta. You close it. This 8-month-long vendetta against me for leaving Comicsgate, turning so much of Comicsgate against me, lying relentlessly about me. Oh my gosh, close the door. That costs me money. That costs me fans. That costs, long-term fans, because they go watch Ethan every day lie about me and lie about me and lie about me and attack my person and attack my business, attack my history constantly. Of course they're going to get brainwashed into thinking I'm freaking Hitler. Right? Gonzo says, you cost you fans. No, Gonzo. I mean, yeah, maybe I did. But I didn't cost me just this weekend alone, Gonzo. Ethan lying about the Mark Wade thing. Lying about the Mark Wade thing got me at least half a dozen refund requests. And multiply that times 8 months, Gonzo. His lies turning my fans against me. Because they believe him. Because they watch him every night. They listen to him. They think he's an honest person. He is the biggest freaking liar I have ever met. Why do you think so many people have left Ethan? Charismatic people draw people to themselves, which Ethan does. But it takes more than charisma to keep friends around. That's why how many people go back and watch some Comicsgate live streams from a year and a half ago. How many of those guys are still there? How many of those guys still come to Ethan's show? You can count them on one hand. It used to be a couple dozen more people regularly cycling through Ethan's show. You can count how many of those old guys, actually, the old guys, from a year and a half ago. That's how many of the old guys still come on Ethan's show. Zach too. Except Zach barely ever comes on the show. Am I making that up? Go watch the videos. It used to be, I can name all the people who were regulars on that show every freaking week. 3 of them have stuck it out. It takes more than charisma to keep people in your circle. So I'll let you guys try to figure that out, because it ain't me. I ain't going back. All right. Death Dealer says, Ethan's making money. You're not. That's the problem. You're just mad because his bad behavior hasn't cost him as much money as your bad behavior costs you. Death Dealer, you're not listening at all. It's not, I don't care. Look, if I wanted to, and I don't, I could go through the last 8 months and bookmark all of the harassment Ethan has given me and send that to YouTube and probably get his channel struck. I would not do that. I don't care about Ethan making money. I don't want him harassing me anymore, but that's not a line that I would ever cross. It's not about the money. He is constantly lying and saying that to me, it's all about the money. And you're just regurgitating that lie, but it's not. There's only certain people to whom everything is about the money. And people who think that way think that everybody else thinks that way. Not everybody in the world puts money ahead of their principles. I'm sorry. If you think that way, then whatever. Trying to reason with EVS fanatics is a lost cause. There's no such thing as a lost cause, Jeff. Well, okay, maybe there is. I think Zach knew all this would happen. He stood away from the beginning. Well, Zach's the one that said, whatever. Mike, your channel would be down 15 minutes after EVS was taken down. You've been no better. That's absolutely not true. Hey, Mike. It's absolutely not true. Go through my videos. How often do I harass Ethan? I've certainly never lied about the guy. I can evidence lies and slander from Ethan for the last 8 months straight. I've never lied about him once. But he says I lie so that you'll believe him, which you do, because you're a bigger fan of him than you are of me. Form a group and make fun of them back. I hope you find people. I don't want to make fun of them. I just want to. No. Wade says, I stopped watching EVS and Malin since all this blew up. I dislike hateful people. Ethan is so much more entertaining doing drama. I'm not trying to be entertaining. I'm trying to just show the truth. I'm speaking the truth, hand on a Bible. You guys all know I am a devoutly devout Christian man. And I swear on my life, I swear on my faith that everything I have said here is true. Just don't sue. I wouldn't. I'm not a litigious person. That's just not even in my wheelhouse. People have suggested that I sue to protect other people from this kind of behavior, like Zach did to Mark Wade. But I'm like, you're gonna have to get somebody else to do it, because I'm not a litigious person. Let's see. I'm here listening though. I appreciate that, Mike. I appreciate it. What about that horrible frog killing video? Were you not here like 3 minutes ago when I addressed this? I already said that I thought I had overstepped my bounds on that. I did that out of anger. I'll just put that out there. That was if you look up the thread, that was a direct response to Ethan gloating about destroying Drawn and Quartered and promising to destroy the biggest show on my channel for all time, forever. He said, we're going to do it forever. And I'm like, and I got mad. And yeah, it was over the line. I copped to that. I own that. That was over the line. Somebody will sue eventually. Well, it won't be me. Ethan's show has definitely gone downhill since the infighting in CG started. It's all about whining about Mike and Doug now. Yeah, his channel has absolutely, I mean, mine too, but he's been attacking me and most of my fans came from him. So I have an excuse why I dropped and then leveled out. I am growing now, but Ethan, ever since that day practically, has been skirting 132,000 and now he's down 131,000. So 8 months of just. Gonzo says for $4.99, Mike, take a chat poll. We want you both to stop trolling each other and focus on good comics, the fans, and promoting each other. Don't cast the first stone. Brother, this ain't the first stone. This ain't the first stone. I've had a whole freaking castle thrown at me, and I've thrown like a handful of rocks. I feel like Israel, right? Like the Palestinians constantly launching missiles at the Palestinian at Israel, and then Israel does one targeted strike back, and they're the bad guy. That's how this is. That's how. Yeah, go make Ethan stop. Mike's D&Q is a hit. It's my biggest show. First, it drew first blood. Ethan doesn't troll. He makes coordinated attacks. Yeah. What was that? It will be Doug Ernst using EVS. EVS will cross a wrong line at some. Oh, suing. You mean suing? I doubt that. I don't know. Edwin says, Mike, did you not just draw 24 pages in 28 days? No, I drew 24 pages in about 21 days because I don't work on Sundays. So, yeah. Just tuned in. I support Israel. Hey, you know what? It's 4:30. I got to start. I'm going to be promoting the Expendables today. I'm going to be promoting the Expendables today on Nerds of the Round Table. I will leave all of this Comicsgate drama behind to promote what I think is going to be a great book by some great people. I don't care about hashtags, and honestly, neither does Zach. Let's just be realistic here. He's not out there waving the banner. Let's just get to the ideals. All right. If we can all agree on the ideals, then who cares about the hashtag? All right. Anyways, God bless everybody. I'm going to get on out of here and do subscribe if you want to, hang out and talk some more later. Subscribe, like, share, do all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next Nerds of the Roundtable in 1/2 of an hour. I do have a very special guest. So you're going to want to be here. 1/2 an hour. Peace out.